Hi, and welcome back. Today, we want to continue what we worked on with you last week, which is how to bounce back from either a career break or a layoff, or maybe a perceived near future layoff using LinkedIn. So we talked last week a lot about how to create a good page, the right kind of page, so you're discoverable, so you can find jobs in a good network. And today we're going to talk about using it a little more actively to pursue things as opposed to being pursued.
Right. And there's a real difference between connecting and networking.
Definitely.
And I want you to talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
So LinkedIn kind of has their kind of critical mass of 500 connections, because their math suggests that if you have 500 connections, that's enough for you to have a really meaningful network. Now, we've seen people have real success with smaller networks, but when I have 500 connections and Kelley wants to meet with connect with one of mine, she has a big list of people she can connect with. And then it grows from there. So my connections now become third connections to Kelley. And sometimes that's all you need to get a foot in the door somewhere. So the network really is about critical mass.
Yes.
We want you to connect, not completely indiscriminately. I mean, our general rule is someone who has a photo, someone who looks real, someone who's not trying to pitch you something.
No.
And you always say, I will connect with anyone who's connected to, say, me or someone you know well, right? So
it's like a little bit of vetting.
Yeah, just a little bit, but we want you to definitely network, connect aggressively. The networking piece is a little bit more nuanced, and we'll get to that in just a minute.
Yes.
Okay.
So be aggressive when it comes to connecting.
Yes.
Be more nuanced when it comes to networking.
Exactly.
Okay. Remember that.
So
let's talk about first, how do we find people?
Yeah. So first of all, LinkedIn will give you a nice list of people you may know X. So that's a great way to do it. Another way to do it is allow LinkedIn to tap into your email account. So if you have an email list of people, LinkedIn will automatically tap into that and show you, okay, here are the 600 people you have on email, and you can just go and check, checkbox.
Nice little feature.
Really, and it's quick and easy. So that's the low-hanging fruit. You totally want to do that. Then, as you're looking forward, you might hop on Kelley's and see, okay, who's Kelley connected with, or look people up. You know, I remember that guy I used to work with, or that client I used to have, or there's that guy on the sidelines that I see every Saturday. And I think he works at that company I'm interested in.
Well, it's a walk down memory lane a little bit. And it's also, I'm going to start to look at the people around me when I go to soccer practice for my son this week.
And maybe
look a little differently at people and think, maybe I should connect with them.
Or maybe that guy, you're not even sure where he works, but you can look him up on LinkedIn and take a look and see where he works, and then decide whether you want to connect. And actually, what do we hear a lot? Well, I don't want people to know that I'm looking at them.
Yes.
And we hear this all the time. You are looking for a job. You want everyone to know you're looking at them. You don't want to be secretive about it.
Yes.
Right.
Unless you are doing something sinister when you're looking at them, you shouldn't feel guilty or bad or uncomfortable. That is what LinkedIn is about. It's not like Facebook, where maybe you are stalking that ex-boyfriend from high school or you know, whatever it might be. That is not what this is about. This platform is actually about being seen and connecting with people, because you are all speaking about career. That's something that's important to you.
Right. So you want people to know.
Exactly.
So
so once you know how to connect with people, now, let's talk about the active, inactive piece, because you know, you may connect with that guy that's on the soccer field and realize, oh my gosh, you know, I really want to have a conversation and okay, go on.
So the biggest mistake novices make. So when you connect with someone on LinkedIn, you have the option to write a custom message. And we absolutely believe you should do that. You should always write it, but it should be really high level and simple. So Kelley, I see we both live in this part of Connecticut. We're both coaches. Let's connect. That's all. Maybe make a mention of the connection. Hey, I see you on the soccer sidelines every Saturday, and your career looks really cool. Let's connect. You're not asking for anything other than the connection. What a lot of people do is they go right in, guns a-blazing. Hi, Kelley, I see that we both are coaches, and I'm looking to expand into this area, and I really want to talk to you about blah, 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 blah. And then Kelley's not going to connect with me. It's too much work. So you want to go for the easy ask, which is just the connection. And most people are looking to build their connections. Most people are not necessarily looking to help you with your career, but they are looking to connect.
But this is what you're talking about with connect aggressively, short and sweet. But you are not but you are not looking to like really like
You're
put
making
all your cards on the
and
table.
you're making
yeah.
no demands. You're
Right.
making no ask other than let's connect.
Yeah.
Once they've connected, we call this strategy the connect, message, meet strategy. Once they've connected with you,
Yep.
then you can go back and say, thank you, Kelley, so much for connecting.
Right.
You know, I've taken a look at the kind of work that you do,
Yeah.
and I do similar work
Right.
in the same area. This is kind of how we met, actually,
Mhm.
not on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, but this would be the LinkedIn iteration of it.
Yeah.
I would love to get 15 minutes on the phone with you to talk about how we
Right.
might be able to help each other out.
Right.
50-50 shot that she's going to take if she's connected with me,
Right.
50-50 shot that she might give me the 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Now, one of the things you always mentioned too, and I almost forgot, is you have to make sure you're dealing with someone who's actually on the platform.
Yes.
So when you look at someone's LinkedIn page, there's this section called activity. It'll show anything they've done in the last 90 days. So if they've liked something, commented something, shared or posted something, it'll be there. If they haven't done anything in 90 days, that doesn't mean you'll never get the connection. It just may mean that they're not on the platform that frequently.
Right.
So you'll have to be patient. Another thing to look at is how many connections do they have?
Right.
If they have that critical mass of 500 plus, they're probably on the platform.
Right.
On a fairly regular basis. If they have 18 connections, they're probably not. In fact, if they have probably under 100 connections, there may be a chance that they're never even on the platform. So just remember that as just to protect yourself and set proper expectations as you're looking at who you're going to try to connect with. So I'm glad you brought up the difference between connecting and networking, because they are very different.
Right.
The network piece is you are making some type of ask.
Right. And I think that's the big thing. What is that ask? You have to be clear about it, right? So, and you have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to actually make the ask. You have to be clear and you have to make the ask. So talk a little
Clear
bit
and
more
committed,
about
right.
Yeah.
So the ask will be different for every single person. So in your case, let's play out this scenario. If I'm looking to build my coaching practice, which is why you first reached out to me, you're like, you've got these clients, you're getting them to a certain point, but you don't have the expertise in career. And I didn't have the expertise in the kind of life coaching.
Right.
So we met in the middle. So that was a really easy ask. But let's say I was considering a career in coaching and I hadn't done it yet, but I saw that you were.
Yeah.
I might say something like, Kelley, I'd really like to get 10 minutes on a Zoom call with you, or if someone's nearby, by all means, cup of coffee, whatever. Because I'm really interested in entering your field, and I'd like to ask you some specific questions and perhaps get some guidance from you.
And especially when you are somebody who is relaunching your career after a period of time, or you've been, through a layoff.
Yeah.
It's really that sort of exploring the conversation. You're not asking for a job. You're not asking for those things yet. You're building a relationship with this person.
And getting information from them. That has to be very clear. So in one case, I'm asking to maybe partner with her or build some kind of partnership. In the other example, I'm asking for a mentorship. Another example might be, let's say for the person who's relaunching their career and knows what they want to do, but is still trying to feel out organizations.
Right.
Kelley, I see that you work at ESPN and, I'm looking at making a pivot or making a career change. And that's one of the industries or one of the companies that really interests me. Would you have 10 minutes to chat via Zoom so I can learn a little bit more about you and your organization?
Right.
In that call, should they give it to you, you are almost like a journalist.
Yeah.
You are interviewing them. You are not talking a lot. But be prepared, and this is why we did last week first, to have a good page, because they will look at your page before they meet with you, often before they connect with you.
Yeah.
So building that good page is key before you start reaching out to people.
Right. And then the last one that is really important is to be active yourself.
Yes.
The platform is, for connecting, for building networking relationships. But you yourself need to be branding, right? Is that what?
And you need to be seen. So once Kelley's in my network, when I post something, it'll come up in her feed.
Right.
Now she'll decide whether she wants to look at it or not. And the more she looks at my stuff, the more of my stuff she's going to get. So, a very easy goal might be to just post one thing a week, and it doesn't have to be something you wrote. If you are a writer, however, LinkedIn's a really easy place to put an article. We put a couple on there. It's pretty easy to get them on there and they do get some traction, but maybe you're sharing something that you've read, you've commented on something. Try to have activity that is somewhat active, that requires you to kind of put some of yourself into it, as opposed to a thumbs up or a like. write a comment.
Well, here's the thing. You might
Yeah.
want to warm up with a thumbs like
Well,
or
that's true.
comment. If you
That's
haven't
true.
been on the platform before, you might want to just get out
Yeah,
there and
you're
just
right.
see the lay of the land and see how other people post and what
Yeah.
they're doing. But then you really
Evolve.
want to evolve and be seen yourself for who you are and what makes you unique and what makes you memorable to those people that
I
are on the
mean,
platform.
when I'm trying to get to know someone, I always look at their activity.
So
What are
do
they,
I.
what
I
are
do
they
the same
commenting
thing.
on? Yeah.
Yes, I
What
do
have
the
they
same thing.
written? What are they commenting? What do they say to people? Who are they connecting with?
Yes, yeah.
So maybe start again with the easy, thumbs up or a smiley face, move on to maybe a little comment. And then, especially if you're not a writer, find interesting things to post
Yes.
or repost,
Yeah.
but put a comment on there. I read this article about X and I found it to be really illuminating, particularly in Y category.
Mhm.
So you're just adding a little bit that shows that you've taken some command of the subject.
Yeah, I was just going to say that you're somewhat of a subject matter expert.
Exactly.
All right, so there you have it.
Mhm.
Those are the connecting and networking tips that you can use if you are someone who is looking to bounce back from a relaunch of
Yeah.
your career, or if you have been somebody who has gone through a layoff.
And the thing is, if you're going through a layoff, especially if you've worked somewhere for a while, you probably haven't put a lot of time into LinkedIn because you've been
Right.
working. So in either of those cases, we don't usually pitch any of our courses, but we do have a very inexpensive, short,
Yes.
completely self-paced course on LinkedIn. It's called our LinkedIn Lab. And we go through a deep dive with lots of examples and actually a live Laura Newman's right on
Yes.
right on the screen with us. Live student going through, how do I network? How do I find people? What do I say? So you might want to look into that too. We'll put the link below.
Yes.
Right.
So if you liked what you heard today, make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find more about our different courses that we have at www.preparetolaunchu.com. Thanks.